Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, Lord Stompy here. I'm your friendly harmonica commander, and this is lesson 2 in the Beginner's Harmonica series. Okay, I'm a little bit overdue, but we're on with the show. Now, lesson 1 last week, I taught you everything you need to know to start your harmonica career, and this week we're going to continue the theme of playing clean single notes down the bottom end of the harmonica. So we'll be looking at playing some stuff between holes number 1 up to number 5, and also we're going to focus a little bit on the classic technique of playing blues chugs. So we're going to do a little bit of this. Alright, so blues chugs, of course, are a very famous technique, and they've been used by blues players since forever, probably since the early 1920s at the very least, probably even earlier. So first of all though, we're going to make sure that your single note technique is nice and clean, and that you're getting really, really strong, clean notes down the bottom end of your harmonica, especially your draw notes, because between the holes number 1 and number 3, when you're doing your draw notes down the bottom end, you really have to open up your throat at the back and get the notes sounding very deep and clear and strong and powerful. Now there's 2 things you need to remember to get this. I went over this in my last video, but we're going to reiterate this again. I want you to have a nice big yawn. That yawn, say ah, like the doctor is putting the depressor on the back of your tongue. And when you say ah, you'll notice that the back of your tongue's going down. And this is the way you should be playing all your notes on harmonica. It will give you excellent tone. It'll make your notes sound a lot more rich, full, and it will give your notes a lot more depth. And this is the correct embouchure that you should be playing with. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little exercise where we're going to play from holes 1 blow up to 4 blow, and you'll know if you've got a good cavity at the back of your throat, the correct embouchure. If all your notes sound nice and clean and warm and full. So the exercise I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. Okay, now I put the tablature on the screen as I was doing that. So if you've got a nice big yawn at the back of the throat, it's kind of like you're holding a golf ball right at the back of your mouth. All your notes should sound very clear. And the second thing that you want when you're doing this exercise is you want smooth, what's the word? Smooth, gentle airflow. You don't want those sudden, jerky changes of airflow where you go, where you do a sudden change. You want it to be, and this is absolutely essential for beginner harmonica players. So I'm just going to do this exercise one more time. This is something you can all practice to yourself. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that should be sounding fantastic. And if you can't get it now, just keep it up for a few weeks. The honest truth is it took me about 3 months to get good clean notes down the bottom end of my harmonica. I didn't actually know that you're meant to have that kind of yawn in the back of your throat, so I had to find this all out through trial and error. So I've done all the hard work for you. I've explained it to you. Now it's up to you to go away and just work on getting that nice embouchure. Now let's get on to chugs, because this is where the awesome action is. What I'm going to show you right now is actually a lot easier than it seems. So there's a lot of different kind of chugs the blues greats do, and there's different techniques for getting chugs, but today I'm showing you the easiest technique, and that's using your tongue. A lot of people call this ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki, because you say those words ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki, and then whether you're breathing in and out, what you do is you say these patterns. It's a bit like beatboxing, right? If you're saying these patterns, it's you're making a rhythm with your tongue. So essentially your tongue is driving the rhythm. And then whether you breathe in or you blow out, you keep saying these patterns. So ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki. So that's all on the draw that I'm doing there. And when you're doing the blues chugs, it's the main emphasis will be on the draw notes. And what you're doing is you're doing a block of notes. Usually it's would be 1, 2, and 3, or 2, 3, and 4. Being overly precise doesn't matter at this stage. You can do 2 notes together. I often do holes number 2 and 3 together. So here we go. Ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki, ta ta tiki tiki. So that's one pattern, but what we're going to focus on today is the blues shuffle pattern, and this is an absolute classic. It's been done since the dawn of time, and what it sounds like is so let's just dig right into this. Basically, I'm kind of aiming around holes 2 and 3. So I'm saying ta 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 ta. But because it's blues, we always start on the draw notes. Okay, so always start on the draw notes, and that will be the correct pattern. And this pattern works no matter what is going on in a blues song. If you just stick to going if the band's playing that shuffle rhythm and you just do that, it for some reason it will always work. Don't ask me why. It is the science of the blues gods. So let's get into this, and I'll stick some tablature up. Not that you even need it. You don't need to move the harmonica. You just need to stick it in your mouth and do around 2 and 3 draw. 2, 3, 4. Now, I hear some of you saying that you're running out of breath while you're doing this. Okay, there's a little secret to breathing. I'm going to tell you right now. Down the track, we'll go into a full video on breathing. But what I'm actually doing is gently breathing in and out a little bit through my nose at the same time that I'm playing. Now, this is not circular breathing. Just when I'm doing an inhale note, I'm breathing a little bit in through my nose. When I do an exhale note, I'm helping myself by breathing a little bit out. So that's getting the extra oxygen going. And this is a very basic technique that all good harmonica players use. So I want you just to practice that shuffle rhythm. And now, in just a moment, we're going to combine the shuffle rhythm with our very first riff. Now, in lesson 1, I taught you the riff that's... Breathe. Breathe. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine that riff, and it's our very first kind of blues riff, combined with shuffle rhythm, the shuffle chug, and this is the basis of so much blues. What you do is you do some single note riffs, and basically a riff is just a short, generally it's a short single note phrase. It's a short phrase. So if you play you play some short phrases, and then you fall back to your chug riff. And this is the beauty of blues chugs, is they're a default rhythm technique. They're something you can always rely on. Okay, it generally always fits in. So you can do a little bit of single note riffing or some soloing. So what you see there is I did the single notes, but I kept falling back into the chug, and suddenly you've got a whole kind of blues thing going on. And that's what all the classic players do. They'll play a solo or a bit of a riff or whatever, and they fall back to the rhythm, and it just sounds fantastic. It makes the song more complete. It's what people consider good playing and good songwriting. If you know how to play a bit of rhythm and a bit of single note riffing and join them together well in a song, you're basically 95% of the way to being considered a good player already. So you don't really need to have these... what's the word? You don't need to be this fantastic technical player. If you can get the get some good basic riffs combined with some good basic rhythm chugs, and you know just where to put them in a song. That's most of your work done. All right, let's get into your first lesson now. I've talked enough talking. Let's do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Breathe. 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 Now, the final thing I'll say just before I go is you'll notice when you do this chug technique, sometimes it will, you'll instinctively make your tongue right at the back go more towards the roof of your mouth, and this will cause your lower notes on the harmonica to choke a little bit. You'll get that strained sound. Now, you want the nice, full, rounded, clear sound. So even when you're doing the ta 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 kind of tongue rhythms, what you want is to remember to keep your throat yawning at the back. Very important. Having said all that, that's this lesson done for this week. I will be back really soon. I've been a bit late putting this lesson up, so I'm going to be a bit earlier putting the third lesson up to make up for it. God bless you all. Over and out. Lord Stompy. Goodbye.